What's going on, everybody? How's everybody tonight? Oh, you're fine, Paul. No problem, bud. No worries. No worries, my man. No worries. All right. Let's get kind of ready to go here. Hey, Corey. Corey says, how was the trip to Florida? It was good, Corey. It was very busy, very quick. I'm very tired. If you were one of the people that was waiting on the sale post Saturday night, you probably noticed how busy I was because completely blew that to smithereens and never even got to it till Sunday morning. So that's how busy we were. But it was good. It was a good trip. As I explained before, my in-laws are moving back home here to Ohio, and I just went down for a long weekend. Actually, it wasn't long at all, just for the weekend, basically, to help them with some stuff. We got their garage cleaned out, got rid of a bunch of stuff. We cleared some brush that they had left over from hurricane damage. We cleaned up they have an outdoor lanai, like a screened-in lanai thing. We replaced all the screens in that. Cleaned out all their patio furniture, got it halfway painted. The floor was still needing to be painted when I left. So just a whole bunch of stuff like that, really. Just trying to get them ready to go as far as being able to move. So it was good, busy, and had to be up at 4:30 a.m. this morning to catch a flight home, but glad to be able to help, and also glad to have them coming back home. Obviously, it means a lot to us to have all the grandparents here for the grandkids. It's very important to all of us. And as somebody who's already lost his dad, it's important for me, for my wife, to have her parents here. Because you just don't know. So, hope you always want to think you've got 20 and 30 and 40 years to go, but in reality, that's probably not always the case. So, I'm glad that they're going to be home and be around. And they're both going to be retired. They both are technically going to be retired by the time they move home. So that'll be nice, too, because, they can go and do what they want and enjoy. If they want to go take off and go on vacation for a month at a time, they can. Nobody's stopping them, So. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, all right, here's our list. Appreciate everybody's support on this one. We filled this one rather quickly. Towards the end, it kind of slowed up a little bit, but sometimes that happens. We had the last one of these case breaks we did for blasters went really well. So I'm not surprised, that, we had solid interest, and I think this one will go well too. So I am currently only missing payments for 2 spots, for Christopher Bell from Victor, which I've messaged him, and then Sammy Smith from Brian Kessler, which I've messaged him too. So those are the only two on the spots that we're missing. You'll notice I put the house down for Clint Boyer. He was going to be a filler spot, and you guys know I collect Boyer, so I just figured, what the heck, I'll just keep him this time. So anyway, so that's that. All the other spots are filler spots. It's a winner-take-all situation on that. So let's get the duck race show on the road. There's our duck race lineup, 1 through 21. And the only duck spots I'm missing payments for is from Melvin. So we've got a couple straggler things that need to be tended to, but for the most part, we're ready to roll. So let me get us to 21. Adam says, I've got an appointment for blaster paint. Am I in the right place? We're going to find out real soon, Adam. We're going to find out real soon. I guess it depends on who you picked, or how many drivers you picked, and what comes out of these boxes. So that'll tell us a lot. All right, let's set this up. We're going to shuffle them one time. And here we go. Good luck to everybody. If I do say something or do something that seems wonky, please speak up, because like I said, I am a little sleep deprived. So I told my wife, you guys know, and I've said this many times, but I'm normally after midnight, midnight 1 a.m. type of person. That's not happening tonight. So when we're done with the break, I'm going to go take a shower and go to bed. So that's what I got left in me. Dracula duck. Duck 6. The Dracula duck. That is John Boyles. Duck number 6 with the win. So congrats, John. Been watching some NT breaks. They must be breaking first off the line NT. I don't imagine anybody has regular NT yet. I wouldn't think this early. It's not supposed to release till Friday, so you must be seeing first off the line breaks. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't. I've gotten to the point where I like to be surprised, and I enjoy just doing it with everybody. I don't want to watch any of that stuff. I just want to do it with everybody. So, this is the Denny Hamlin race win card that I made for last Sunday for the Darlington race. Again, remember, this was due to be given away yesterday, but because I was out of town, we're doing it today. So the Denny Hamlin spot is David Korst. So David will get the custom Hamlin. And as of last week, I printed these a little bit differently. I kind of changed up my technique a little bit. And hopefully, I think this one, just the overall quality is much better. So we'll see. I did some kabooms, and I'm much happier with the way this last batch turned out overall. So I might be on to something here. But yeah, so that's that. And then let's get into this. Let's go. Good luck to everybody. I would say at this point, from what I am seeing and hearing from everybody else, I would say at this point the National Treasures checklist is complete. And I don't know what to think or feel about National Treasures until I've opened probably a couple of cases. I'm not going to really be able to say, oh yeah, this or that. So it's just we're going to have to find out together kind of situation. I just started looking at it, the list just a little bit ago, and haven't spent much time with it. So I don't know what, I just don't know what to make of it. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Good luck, everybody. Let's do this thing. We'll start out with a red and blue Tyler Ankrum. Going to Michael Clay. 82/249. Yeah, no, the only RPAs are, I think, like, older RPAs, from what I saw. Yeah, not much SVG at all. Silver Moffat. I just don't know. I don't know. Again, with Panini, you guys know what I always say. You just never know what you're going to get with them. Orange Flash, Sam Mayer. And this could be another example of, I don't understand what they're doing sometimes. Silver Flash and Fuego Chris Buescher. I still am completely baffled with a release on Easter weekend. I think it's absolutely atrocious timing. William Byron, Silver Flash, Race Used Tire. That's going to go to Lewis. Yeah, it's just a big old, it's almost like Chronicles, essentially. It's National Treasures almost, to me, seems like because they didn't release Chronicles this year, it was almost like, well, we're just going to throw all of the leftovers, which is really quite frustrating for those that had redemptions of some of those drivers. Red and blue, Brandon Jones, 24/149. Going to Scott Dixon. But for me, honestly, I think Select is going to go down as probably my favorite product of the year. Silver Jeb. Yeah, that's what I mean. Chase Briscoe has, you have Chase Briscoe RPAs from 2021 National Treasures that were probably redemptions in 2021, but they're just now putting them in a product. It's like, I don't know, that to me it's I'm not gonna go too far into the National Treasures realm because I don't really know. Other than what I can see from quickly scouring the list. And so I mean, here's my thing, I guess, since everybody obviously wants to talk National Treasures. My thoughts on my little bit of information I have is, my thoughts are, if they wanted to do Chronicles, they should have done Chronicles, and all these extras should have just went into a Chronicles product, and they just should have said, hey, we're not going to do National Treasures for a year, which would have been fine. It really genuinely would have been fine if they just did that. But it's going to be annoying to have National Treasures box, to have a Chronicles box masqueraded as a National Treasures box. You know what I mean? So here's what I'll say, and this is not because I'm the breaker, but this is what I will say about National Treasures. Knowing what I know off of the very little information I have, my advice to everybody, 111 to 149 on the NOAA, goes to Scott Bastian. My advice to everybody on National Treasures this year would be buy into breaks with the drivers that you collect or that you can, trade and deal with, or that, whatever that you're comfortable with as far as breaks are concerned, or buy singles. But don't, unless you've got some significant cash flow that you can play with and it's not going to hurt you, my advice is don't go buying boxes of National Treasures or cases of National Treasures and ripping them, because you could, I could go back, I don't think I can even find the video anymore, but there'll be people that'll remember when I opened a full case of National Treasures in 2021 or 2022, and it was rough. No 101s. I probably got $350 to $400 worth of cards out of a $1,600 to $1,700 case. So since we're on this, I'm just going to say this, and I know it's easy to everybody to say, hey, Mike, well, it's easy for you to say because you're the breaker, to say to do breaks, but it makes more sense if you collect certain drivers to participate in breaks, especially with so many unknowns with this National Treasures product, than it does for you to open cases or boxes and potentially really get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, I won't say it, I won't continue to beat that horse tonight, but I come at that from a perspective of I genuinely mean, and again, buy singles. There'll be singles available. You watch and wait. That's my other piece of advice. My other piece of advice is don't let FOMO get you. Don't let the fear of missing out get to you. The first month that National Treasures is out, unless it's a 101 or something that's numbered to 5 and you just have to have it right now, just wait. Because there'll be more down the road. It'll be resold, whatever. We got our first points. It's 250. Just like we've done in the past, I'm just going to sit these off to the side, and unless anybody's opposed from it, we'll probably just randomly send those to some people that don't really hit tonight. Orange Flash, Tony Stewart. But yeah, buy singles, but wait to buy your singles. Give it a month. Just act like if you're somebody that's only going to buy singles and that's the only thing you're going to do, give it a month. Wait. You'll save so much money if you just wait and let that first month die off. Because the amount of money that people charge for them in the first 3 to 4 weeks is crazy. And because the checklist is so wonky, everybody's going to be tempted to be like, well, I just need to buy it when I see it, right? And so it's just going to make that temptation to hold off even more difficult. But don't, and if you're somebody that money's no object, if you got money to spoil, then, you do you. I'm probably not preaching to you, you know what I mean? But if you're somebody like me who, I like to say baller on a budget, don't get in a bad spot. And I don't mean that from a financial, like getting your family in a bad spot or anything. I don't mean that. I just mean don't go blowing your whole budget, you know, on a box of National Treasures or a case of National Treasures, or even, you know, even a bunch of break spots if we're unsure. You know, just my advice is to everybody is to just sort of ease your way into it a little bit. But I feel like your breaks and then singles are your best option when there's so many unknowns and variables, and really no accountability, nobody to give information. You can't inquire, ask questions. It's one of the things I really dislike about all the card companies. It's not just Panini, it's pretty much all of them. Trying to get information from any of them is a real challenge. Connor Mozak, red and blue, 196 of 249, going to Andy. Silver Ryan Truex. So yeah, I know it sounds like me preaching, but just don't let. I've done a YouTube video on this a long time ago. It's just cardboard. Don't let the aura of National Treasures get you. You know what I mean? I mean, it's been several years ago since I opened that case of National Treasures, and it still bothers me to this day. And I swear I'll never do it again because of that. So, Daniel Suarez, Sparks, Fire Suit. Interesting. Going to Jerry. Yeah, 100%, Scott. 100%. And that's what I don't get. Blue and black, Chase Elliott. 17 of 49. Going to Paul. Yeah, that's the frustrating part is for us collectors. You know, you buy into products or you've been collecting for, a year and a half, 2 years. Heck, for the Chase Briscoe fans, they've been collecting since 2021 thinking they weren't getting National Treasures RPAs. And then all of a sudden, here 3 years later, we're getting Chase Briscoe RPAs. Like, I can't afford my driver and National Treasures breaks anyways. I could get a sick card with the money they're asking for Chase. Well, I guess, Andy, my question is who are they? There's this is why I kind of didn't want to go down this while I'm trying to break, because I can't talk and do this at the same time. But so 2 questions that I would have for you, Andy Colwell, is one, who are they that you're speaking about? And 2, what are they breaking? Are they breaking National Treasures first off the line? Or are they showing you what the cost is going to be for a regular National Treasures break? Because those 2 things are going to be very different. National Treasures first off the line is probably going to be quite a bit more expensive than regular National Treasures because, it sold out at $450. How many people bought it at $500 or $550 or $600? I saw an online retailer today selling them for $6.99 a box. So, you have to take into consideration if somebody spent $600 or $500 on those boxes, they've spent $100 to $200 more per box their cost. And then if you're on Whatnot, which is what you're telling me, you're on Whatnot, you're going to pay way more on Whatnot for any brake ever, always. Whatnot charges about 20% fees. So no matter what product you're braking, if you see a price, like take my brakes, for example, add 20% to that at a minimum on Whatnot. But you just answered my question, Andy. $150 for Chase Elliott and a case brake. I'm guessing that my case brake, when I put it together, this is just me speculating because I haven't even started. But I'm just guessing that Chase Elliott and my case brake for National Treasures probably will not be above $75. Which is still a lot, don't get me wrong. And you could still buy a sick card for $75. So I agree with your original statement, but you see what I'm getting at. I think if you hold tight a little bit, I think going off first off the line prices and Whatnot prices are going to really, you know what I mean? They're always going to kind of be really up there. So, and I'm not trying to like pat myself on the back or anything. I try to do, I have sort of a system of how I've done my brakes since I started, and I've basically stuck with that ever since day one. And it seems to be fair, and so that's why I've stuck with it. But again, not trying to. The breakers on Whatnot though are up against that fee issue. It's just like selling on eBay. You know, you're dealing with a giant fee right off the bat before you even get anywhere. So, you know, a first off the line box that somebody might have paid, say they paid $550 for it. Well, that's $150 more than what the standard National Treasures box is supposed to be at $4. And then you add 20% to $550, you know, you're up there just for one box. So, which is why I just didn't even mess with first off line. I didn't have anything for it. And I could be the goat, not the goat, but the sheep for that. You know, I may completely miss everything because of that. I guess I don't know what analogy I was trying to use there. But I may look like a dummy is what I'm trying to say for not getting in the first off the line stuff, but I was pretty confident. And 155 of 249, red and blue Richard Petty goes to Michael John Pierce. And I know that there's some other breakers in the community. I know a lot of people know, you know, a lot of the other breakers that are around. But one of them that's pretty well respected, he and I recently had a very similar conversation, and he was in total agreement with me that first off the line was just a hard pass. So Kyle Larson, Select Swatches Fire Suit, race winner yesterday, goes to CW. Yeah, I wasn't trying to call myself the GOAT. I know that sounded really silly out of me, but Orange Flash Kyle Larson. Let's talk about the race for a second. Let's talk about the race because we didn't get to talk about it. Ooh, this is nice. Orange Flash Danica trackside. That's nice. Going to Lewis. But yeah, Larson kind of took him to the woodshed. I've seen a lot of mixed comments about the race. I've seen a lot of people saying it was boring. I've seen a lot of people say it was a terrible race. Which I guess I would agree that maybe the race wasn't full of drama or attrition necessarily. But I think sometimes I think everybody's reaction when somebody kind of stinks up a race, I think everybody's reaction whenever somebody dominates a race is to just say it's boring. And I don't know. I don't know. I do agree that I think NASCAR needs to do something about the package that they have for short track racing in general. Yeah, it was exactly, Scott. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever watched. It wasn't great, it wasn't terrible. It was just whatever. I think the thing is, you know, when you have, I've said it so many times, when you have these stage breaks and then you get a race like yesterday where you don't have many cautions, so you get the stage breaks and then you kind of get some long green flag runs, and when there's very little tire fall off, and they've got enough fuel to run 125, 140 laps or whatever, you're not going to get much shakeup, you know? They need to... I'll stand on this hill for a while until I'm proven wrong. I think they need a softer tire, period, for all races. And I think they need a smaller fuel tank. And they need to force the teams to pit under green, whatever that requires. 41 of 49, 𝐂𝐈 black and blue. 𝐂𝐈 goes to Steve Teskey, you know, because if you can't naturally get drama on the track just based out of the racing, usually the pit cycles will create the drama, right? Somebody goes on a different strategy, and then somebody, just like Blaney last week or the week before, where he had to run everybody down because they were on a different cycle, you know. Sometimes the pit cycle, let me grab some more penny sleeves. But sometimes the pit cycle will create enough drama. But yeah, man, they I don't know. Jimmy Johnson on the tire. Jimmy goes to Steve Teskey. I got into a discussion with somebody in one of the other groups earlier this afternoon, though, because this person made a post with the empty seats and like this big laughing face, basically like, you know, kind of mocking NASCAR for having so many empty seats. Yeah, Jimmy goes to Steve Teskey, and it's like, wait a second, you're in a NASCAR card group. I know this person is a collector and you're a race fan, but you're running down the very sport that you like. Like, you know, Orange Flash, Martin. So, oh, we got some gold in the back of this one. Here we go. I think it's going to go this way. Yeah. Chase Elliott, sights of victory with that Hooters rear end. Going to Paul. That is 8 out of 10. The only thing that would have made that better is if it was a 9. But that's still real nice. Look at that rear end. Gold Flash. Going to Paul. Paul's only been after this card for a while. Hang tight. I got to grab some mags. Clearly was very prepared. Very prepared. Yeah, Paul, there you are. Paul, we're like Rory at the Masters. We finally did it. We finally did it. There we go. Whoo! That's nice. 8 out of 10. Sheesh. There we go. Let's get the yellow stand. Get the people going. Yeah, I think you're right. As you said that, I was thinking, wait a second, I think the gold version was 8 too. I guess you'll have to let me know when you get time to look at it sometime. I think you're right. Funny. All right, let's press on. That was our first 5 blasters. I got to get moving or I'm never going to get to bed. So. Better than an upside down auto. That's crazy. What are the odds of doing that? The gold. So we pulled Paul the 8 of 10 straight gold. And now we've pulled Paul the 8 of 10 gold flash. Like, yeah, what are the odds of that happening? Go figure, huh? Go figure. Can't wait to see the picture of those together. That'll be cool. Red and blue 𝐂𝐿 goes to Larry. $32 of $249. Zane Smith, silver. Orange Flash, Brandon Jones. Silver Flash and Fuego, Bill Elliott. I know you guys can't see it, but the hobby box, we'll uncover it as we go. The hobby box is behind all the blasters. We'll do the hobby box last. Brittany Zamora. Got some gray fire suit going on there. Goes to Chris Barlow. Don't threaten me with a good time. Red and blue, Dale Jarrett. He goes through the filler to John Boyles. 118 of 149. Haley. And Carson Quapple, silver. The couple things I did look at when I was looking at the National Treasures list quickly was I did notice Chase Elliott does have some autographs, so that's good. Chase also has some booklets. So the Chase spot's definitely better than it had been. So definitely a good sign there. I don't think Christopher Bell has any autographs except for the duels with Ty Gibbs, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. I don't understand that. But oh. Before we get to NT, so we got this red and blue Chase Briscoe. Briscoe goes to Mike Brass. But before we get to NT, tomorrow night I have planned a small Donruss break. 103 of 149 for Chase. And what I mean by small Donruss break is I've got 6 hobby boxes. It'll be 2 boxes of 18 Donruss, 2 boxes of 19 Donruss, and 2 boxes of 20 Donruss for a 6-box mixer. But, you know, Donruss isn't very expensive, so the break should be quite affordable, I believe. I haven't done the checklist yet. I'll work on it in the morning probably. But it should be fairly affordable. Silver SVG. So that'll be tomorrow night. That Donruss 6-box mixer. And then on Wednesday night, I'll post the first National Treasures case break. The first break of National Treasures will be a case. And then the next several that follow will be 2 boxes at a time. We'll split it up and do it smaller. And I'll have to attack that checklist at some point, maybe tomorrow or I guess Wednesday morning. But sometime between now and Wednesday early, I got to get it figured out. Silver Wave Sensations SVG. Going to Nick. Probably ought to top load that one. That's nice. That's a nice SVG there. Sparks Jeffrey Earnhardt on the fire suit. Going to Dave. Dave. Yeah, you got the silver and then the silver flash. Almost back to back like that. That's not a bad way to go. Christian Eckes, red and blue through the filler to John Boyles. 40 out of 249. And then silver Chandler Smith. Empty box. Whoa, just trying to get the code card. That's all I'm trying to get. These packs are opening really, really wonky. Like not... Part of it's the gloves. Sometimes gloves are a real pain in the butt. But it is what it is. WrestleMania. Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned that, Corey. So we've got, this weekend we got WrestleMania. No NASCAR race on Sunday, so I'm thinking Sunday we'll do a wrestling break for WrestleMania. And I was kind of eyeing a case of 22 Chronicles blasters. I was trying to think of something that we could do where we might get a few hits, but that we would have nice, good substance to go around to a lot of people. And my LCS owner told me he could get the Chronicles Blasters case at a fairly reasonable price. And I thought, boy, that would probably be a decent break. So that's kind of where I was leaning. I guess you guys tell me if you think that's a terrible idea or not, or if you have something that you want to break. Topps Chrome is nice, but man, Topps Chrome is really expensive for what you get. I mean, it's really expensive. Silver Kenseth. Black and blue Thad Moffitt. So that's kind of why I was leaning the way I was. Because 17 of 49 for Thad. Yeah, we did get a relic, Chris. You already hit a relic. Not big, but you did get a relic. So that's kind of the way I was leaning. Justin Haley and Fuego. We got more Panini points. Another 250. Riley Herbst orange. And orange Dale Jarrett. But yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking for wrestling. Was that Chronicles case seemed like a cool, fun break. I mean, we could go a little bigger and potentially add a NXT blaster case to it too for not a whole lot more money. So I don't know. But when you're looking at like Topps, to give an idea on the wrestling side of things real quick, when I'm sitting here looking at a Topps Chrome hobby box that's going for like $450 and you get 2 autographs and I can get a whole blaster case of Chronicles for that price. Like, I feel like that's a better value for us to break, is that Chronicles blaster case, than just one hobby box of Topps Chrome. So, Black and blue Dale Jarrett through the filler to John. One more time. 17/49. Again. There must be a major rift between Christopher Bell and Panini. Because I don't know what else the issue could be. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand why he gets very little in products. Orange Connor Mozak. Harrison Burton, American Pride. Through the filler also. Agree on volume, yeah. It's just one of those things where I'd rather make something make sense. Oh, that's nice. Justin Allgaier, 2-color sheet metal. Going to Lewis. That's sharp. Put that up there on the stand. It's a cool one. I have to open some more top loads here in a moment anyway. Nice 2 colors on that. Let me open some more of those. Heim didn't get... I don't remember seeing Heim. Like, he just wasn't somebody that I was, scouring for right away. So, yeah, I'll have more intel after I really dive into it. But red and blue, Denny Hamlin. Going to David Korst, 228/249. I mean, this has been going on with Bell for what feels like about a year and a half now of basically no autographs and no real big hits of anything. Like, I don't know. They did give him Downtowns in Donruss. That was probably one of Bell's bigger cards in the last 18 months. And he had a couple... I think he had a couple, like, shorter print, like laundry tag type stuff when NT came out last year, maybe, but just nothing. No, nothing. On one hand, I'm glad they make the checklist. And on another hand, I almost wish there was no checklist at all. And it was just all... Like, I wish they would just say, here's the drivers that you could get, and then that's it. I can't read that whole comment, but I see Chris says he's disappointed with WrestleMania for no Rock. Once we get to the Bloodline part, then I can't read the rest of that. Comment's too long. Red and blue, Jimmy Johnson, 193/249. Going to Steve. Silver, Jeff Gordon. I'm excited for WrestleMania because I think Triple H has more up his sleeve than just the usual what everybody's expecting to happen with some of these matches. I think it'll be better than what people think. So we'll see. We just got to watch and see. Orange Tyler Reddick. Noah Gragson, Silver Flash Sensations. Yeah, no Rock and Roman, yeah. I kind of figured that's where you were going with it. BK Silver Flash Fire Suit. That's going to go to David Korst. Red and blue Chase Elliott goes to Paul. $31/149. And silver Lawless Allen. I'm going to try to pick up the pace a little bit because we're only halfway through this blaster case. I've done a lot of talking and not a lot of breaking. I don't think, not to dwell on the WrestleMania thing too long, but I don't think that they're going to take, I don't think John Cena's going to get the championship. I think he's either going to lose straight up to Cody, or Cody may get himself disqualified, or something of that nature, to where he technically loses, but doesn't lose the belt. You know what I mean? It might be like a reverse of what happened to Dusty back in the day, but it's going to happen to John, where John wins the match but doesn't win the championship kind of thing. Nick Sanchez, red and blue, goes to Dwayne. 29/149. Terry Labonte, silver. We got, and then, you know, after this weekend, you know, we've got WrestleMania this weekend, National Treasures release this weekend, and then after this weekend, a week from Thursday, we've got the NFL Draft. So I'm going to start working on figuring out what we can break for NFL Draft night, too. So we'll see what I can come up with. John Flipson was never actually a heel. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Flair screws Cena somehow. Oh, interesting. Suarez, Sights of Victory. Eric Amarola, Sparks Fire Suit. I don't understand the Sparks not being sheet metal. It would make more sense if the Sparks cards were all sheet metal. And see, then, like here, this should be Fire Suit, that should be sheet metal. That would make more sense to me. Anyway, Amarola going to Will Black. And then we got the black and blue Christian Eckes. This might be a short, no, 9/49. I was going to say it could be out of 25. It's not. Going to John Boyles. Silverdale Jr. And you know, Donruss 2025 Donruss isn't far around the corner. It's also only 4 weeks away from National Treasures, according to the release schedule. So, you know, the next month or so for us is going to feel pretty busy, I feel like, with potentially 2 new releases within a 4 to 5 week period. Plus, you got, you know, WrestleMania in there. You're going to have the NFL draft in there. Tonight was the WNBA draft. I know we haven't done any WNBA or women's basketball stuff, but I think they've priced it so high that it's not worth messing with at this point, personally. But Paige Beckers went number 1. If you guys hadn't watched or didn't see or whatever. Cole Custer, red and blue. Goes to Mike. $117 of $149. Does anybody happen to be watching the WNBA draft? I was kind of hoping to see if Taylor Theory got drafted or not. She really deserved to be drafted, but I fear she might not. Tanner Gray, orange. Sensations, Chase Briscoe. Goes to Mike. We have not had any ink yet. What the heck? Noah Gragson, Sparks. This is the tire. Going to Scott Bastian. Harvick, red and blue. Going to David Brinkman. 101 of 249. Yeah, exactly. The points should have been autos. Bubba. Maybe we can find a tiger print. Nope, I just need the code card, not the rest. No code card back there. Crazy amount of waste because they only put like 4 cards in each pack. They could have just done 4 packs with 6 cards and made it so much easier. So much packaging. Orange Jimmy. Chris Buescher, silver. Andres Perez, red and blue. Going to Sea Salt. 184 at 249. We got another Panini points. There's 3 points. Golly. Talk about rough, man. And Fuego Silver. Orange, Bill Elliott. And Daniel Suarez, orange. We're going to need... It might be a good thing I had that hobby box in here, because we're going to need that hobby box to be our saving grace, potentially. We're going to need it to have 2 or 3 real nice cards to help us out. Come on, Select. You got to do us better than this. I mean, the Chase Elliott's awesome, but... after that... red and blue, Alex Bowman. Going to Brian. That's 186 of 249. Silver, Michael Waltrip. Round 3, pick 11. Thank you, Sean. Do you know who that was that picked her? I'm telling you, they're going to find out they got one heck of a ball player with her. She might be the steal of the draft. Orange, Carson Hocevar. She just needs a chance. Because, man, she is so athletic. Sensations, Zane Smith. Going to Matt Aland, Atlanta. All right. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. I'm excited for her. Well deserved. Sparks, Clint Boyer. Hey, we got one for the house. Go wake up the dogs. Tell everybody. Yellow fire suit. I guess I'm in on the party now. Black and blue, Ty Dillon. It's going to go to Michael Clay. $17 of 49. I think that's the third $17 of 49 tonight. We got a weird thing with numbers lately. Tony B, silver. We're going to go in the middle. We're going to uncover that. We're going to uncover that hobby box. Maybe after this one, I'll open the hobby box just to see if we can change our luck a little with it or something. Change the juju, if you will. Right? Jeez. Yeah, this is rough. It's rough. It's not been great to this point. I talked about this, so I did a little sit-down talk with our with the one LCS owner, Rob, last week, and one of the things I mentioned to him that everybody's got to be aware of is not trying to keep up with the Joneses. You know what I mean? Like not trying to keep up with everybody else, and not get down when you have a bad box or you open a bad pack or you get in a break and just skunk to high heaven 3 times in a row. So another Boyer, red and blue Boyer. Seems like Boyer's heating up all of a sudden. But it's easy to get kind of like into this lull where you're like, man, all I see is other people posting big hits, and sometimes we forget that for all those big hits, there's people that are having rough boxes and they're just not posting about it, or sometimes they do. Sometimes you'll see people that'll say, hey, you just won't believe how bad this box was, or whatever. Matty D. Oh, 2-color sheet metal. All right. Going to Eric Patton. I like the 2 colors. We'll take that. Rockingham this weekend. Is it Rockingham next weekend? They don't race this weekend, right? Because it's Easter. Is it next weekend they go to Rockingham? Or is it not Cup? I guess I'm not sure. Oh, we got another gold. This is an American Pride gold. That's 100% gold. Michael McDowell. And Mick Driver goes through the filler to John Boyles. 9 out of 10 is what we wanted on that one. Come on, man. Still sick. Truck and Xfinity race this weekend. Okay. Gotta move Matty D. I told you, I just don't keep up with their schedules enough. I do enjoy watching the trucks in Xfinity. It's just, I just don't, you know what I mean? Like, I just, just one of those things. Nice McDowell going to John. All right. Well, now I feel like we got to finish the blasters because we kind of got a little taste of something there with another gold. Now it makes me think we got to keep pressing on. So we're going to press on. Wilkesboro. Didn't they run the Clash at Wilkesboro this year, though? Or no. It wasn't. That was Bowman Gray. My mistake. That was Bowman Gray. Orange Flash, Noah Gragson. Davey Allison, silver. I corrected myself. Blue and black, Kevin Harvick. With Keelan. Going to David Brinkman, 25 of 49. I did see, in my quick glancing through the checklist, I did see that not only does Hailie Deegan have autos with Brian in National Treasures, but she also has autographs with Hayden, her brother. And I'm going to suspect that that's probably his first card he's ever had. So probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the Deegan spot be Hailie and include Brian and Hayden all in her spot. So if you grab Hailie Deegan, you get the Deegan family, basically. So Wallach going to Andy. It'll probably say Hailie Deegan plus Brian and Hayden or something like that. BJ McLeod, fire suit. Oh, same, Scott. Same. Going to John Boyles through the filler. Pulled a redemption for a duel earlier. Yeah, I'm sure they did. I stopped worrying about trying to be, everybody wants to be the first one to break this and that, and I stopped playing that game a long time ago. Hey, we might have made the right decision. We pressed on. Check it out. I see tiger print. Welcome to the jungle. Chandler Smith. Tiger print. Going to Eric Patton. Boy, that's nice, too. Well-centered. That's a looker. Man, even the back's nice. Nice. Zebra. Not zebra. Tiger print. I told you I would say something just ridiculous tonight. Sitting here staring at tiger print, calling it zebra. Chandler Smith going to Eric. All right. Things have picked up here towards the end of this little blaster case. Let me do this. Tuck him in. And we'll go like that. I guess I had more room on that side. There we go. Suddenly things are looking a little up. Two golds and a tiger print with 4 still to go. Suddenly I have a little bit of optimism. I guess all we had to do is start talking bad about them, and they started giving us better stuff. Busy weekend for me. I'm even doing a card show on Saturday. It's just a real small I call it more of a local show, you know what I mean? About 25 tables. Just real small. But I like those kind of shows too. Red and blue Ty Gibbs going to Storm Ghost. There we go. 6 of 25. Another short print. That's our first one out of 25. And it's a trackside at that. And Fuego Silver Willie B. We got a Select Swatches Kyle Busch. Fire Suit. Going to Andy. We're at least checking some boxes here. Casey Kane orange. Going to Steve. And Mikey Waltrip. Goes through the filler. All right, 3 blasters and then 1 hobby to go. And then this old boy's got to take a shower and go to bed. I am beat. Probably a good time to remind everybody, do have our next PSA submission going out the end of the month. Like the Whatnot guy, yeah, no doubt. So PSA cards go out the end of the month. Well, the deadline's the last day of the month. And then they'll go out like on the 1st or 2nd. That's kind of the routine we've been working with. Let me grab a quick drink. So reminder on that as well. On top of all the other things I mentioned earlier, we'll probably try to sneak a mail sale in somewhere here in the next few weeks after between NT and Donruss, I'm guessing. So like I said, our next 4 to 6 weeks is going to be pretty busy around here. Silver Danica. Sawalich. Black and blue Riley Herbst. Goes to Nick. 37 of 49. There you go, Nick. We got more points. Huh. Crazy. Just crazy. American Pride Silver Flash, Eric Jones. Taylor Gray Orange. And Matt Kenseth. No, Christopher Bell. I was looking at the car, and I'm expecting Matt Kenseth. Christopher Bell on the orange. Ay, ay, ay. Easy, honest mistake. Empty box. Also, don't forget, if you're trying to watch old breaks, I have been moving really since that issue with Facebook where you couldn't rewatch a video. Ever since then, I've been uploading them to YouTube. So if you need a different avenue to go back and rewatch a break, got a lot of stuff there on YouTube. So, Jeff Gordon. Sammy Smith. Red and blue, Jimmy Johnson. You get a lot of, so with Select and Prism, you get a lot of cards that have a real bow to them. 38 of 249 on Jimmy. Going to Steve. But this pack here, check out this. I mean, that's pretty severe. I mean, it's it's pretty warped. I mean, it's very common with Select and Prism. It's the type of card stock and finish they use that makes them do that. But Larson and Fuego Silver. More points. Unbelievable. Well, at least you know you got a shot at getting some points in your next mail day. For what that's worth. Orange Haley Deegan. Going to Tim. And that gets us to our last blaster. Let's make it a good one. They make a medicine for that? Wait, what? Medicine for what, Scott? Which problem that I'm experiencing? I'm afraid to ask now. Dr. Scott over here trying to... The Bode call. I told you, man. It was right there, and I couldn't get it. I just didn't get it. Oh, good one. What's Sheldon from Big Bang Theory say? Bazinga? Ay, ay, ay. All right. Greg Biffle. Josh Williams. We got the 𝐁𝐫𝐶𝐂𝐓 red and blue. It goes to Andy, numbered 106 of 249. In Fuego Silver, Chase Elliott. Sparks Justin Haley, 2-color sheet metal. It's going to go to Robert James Taylor. If you guys aren't familiar with Robert, he's in a lot of the groups all around Facebook, and every once in a while he'll make a video. He has some really nice showcases in his home that he displays his cards, and he's into all kinds of, like, I think he's got die casts and, you know, but it's pretty cool. I always enjoy seeing his videos, or anybody's for that matter, but he's one of them that every 6 months or so he'll make a new one, you know, with updates and what he changed or what he moved around, or so I always look forward to seeing those, and like I said, anybody, I like that kind of thing. It's just fun to watch. Orange Jesse Love finishes off what was a rough-ish blaster case. Not atrocious, I guess, because we did get 2 golds, a tiger print, and a short print Ty Gibbs. So, not a complete atrocious, but it wasn't great. I don't even know that I would say it was good. So, I need to grab, real quick, some more penny sleeves. Because I know I don't have enough for the hobby box, which is where all the good stuff's going to be. We think. All right. Let's see if we can save the day here. For at least 1 or 2 people, maybe. With something good out of this single hobby box. Yeah, if the points were autos of anybody. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. 100% agree, Steve. If the point... I mean, we got 5 of them. If those are autographs, that's solid. But I still firmly believe points suck, because you still got to pay for shipping, and that's not right. Purple Raja Caruth going to Sea Salt. $46 out of $75. Burton. C. Bell. Petty, Stenhouse. Nick Sanchez, Carolina Blue. Going to Dwayne Coates. 117 of 199. Tanner Gray and Bill Elliott. We got gold. I think it's a Sensations gold, too. Just based on the lines. I'm pretty sure. Oh, I was wrong. Andres Perez, gold rookie. All right. Going to sea salt. See? Honestly, we hadn't hit really anything for Andrew. Probably saved the day for sea salt. 2 of 10. Gold Perez. That'll work. That'll work indeed. I'm going to put him up here instead of the McDowell. Just change things a little. Kyle Busch and Logano. Might have a patch auto, maybe? We'll see. Harrison Burton. We're going to go from the back. William Byron. Red Ross Chastain. 16 out of 49. Alex Bowman, patch autograph. Finally seeing some ink. It's going to Brian Crockett. Brian's another one that we really hadn't hit much for, so like I said, this box might be the savior for a couple of people. I know we can't save everybody's skunk because we probably got more people on the skunk radar than not tonight, but this will help a little bit. Out of 49 on the Bowman. And then the red Ross Chastain goes to Eric Patton. We're going to end up with more autographs tomorrow night out of Donruss than we did tonight. 133 of 149, red Ross. One more time. Yeah, that's crazy. It just occurred to me. Yeah, tomorrow night's Donruss break. We're going to have more autographs than we will tonight. Guaranteed. Guarantee. Silver Bubba. Going to Nate. Got a filler. Oh, that's a nice white Haley Deegan. Nice color match. And as somebody that used to do some photography, the white with contrast to her dark hair really makes her picture pop. Going to Tim Mays with the Deegan spot. 69 out of 99. Got a fun serial number on it, too. Sam Mayer and Jimmy Johnson. Might have a tie-dye back there. Hold up. Bowman. Red Sheldon Creed. And yeah, American Pride. Tie-dye. Corey LaJoie. That's going to go to JR. Another short print, finally. 13 out of 25. Creed will go to JJ. I kind of like Sheldon Creed a little bit. The more I watch him, and I don't know, 82 of 149. I kind of like him. Sam Mayer. Noah Gragson. Got a tricolor Dale Jr. First tricolor we've seen tonight, too. Goes to John Purcell. Should have our other autograph in this pack, it looks like. Alex Bowman red. Kurt Busch. Parker Retzlaff. 89 out of 99. Trackside Action Signatures blue. Parker Retzlaff going to go to 𝐒𝐄𝐋𝐄 as well. So the hobby box really comes in clutch for 𝐒𝐄𝐋𝐄 tonight, with the Retzlaff ink and the gold rookie Perez. Came in big time clutch. We got the red Bowman for Brian. /108 out of 125. We got 3 packs left. How about another silver SVG rookie? Nick Cusack. Rolla. Biffle. Blue Casey Kane. Goes to Steve Teskey. 108 to 175. And another Kyle Busch. Sparks red. Again, fire suit. Going to Andy Colwell. This one is 49 of 49. So you got the bookend. Nice Kyle Busch. Truex. We got a tricolor Daniel Dye. And Fuego Denny. Filler. Mark Martin. And that's all she wrote. Well, I appreciate everybody who participated for sure. Like I said, I know it wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst either. I've seen worse. So we'll hang our hats on that for the night. But like I said, tomorrow night with Donruss, we'll see more autographs tomorrow night for sure. So don't forget tomorrow night. It's a 6 hobby box mixer. 2018, 2019, and 2020. 18, 19, 20. 2 boxes of each. So another kind of longer break tomorrow night because it's Donruss. But definitely on the affordable side. It'll be, I'm trying to think price point wise. It'll be less than this was tonight, for sure. I don't know exactly where some of the drivers will fall on the spectrum, but but it'll definitely be less than tonight's break. Should be by a fair amount too. So we'll get that worked out, and I'll get that posted tomorrow, probably lunchtime or a little after, and we'll go from there with that one. So, and then of course National Treasures. I'll post the first case break of National Treasures Wednesday night. That's on the schedule as well. We had a couple of short prints American Pride tie-dye Corey LaJoy, and the red and blue trackside Ty Gibbs out of 25. Our relics did have Boyer, and then we had Kyle Busch red Sparks, Justin Haley 2-color sheet metal, Kyle Busch fire suit, BJ McLeod fire suit, 2-color metal Matty D, Allgaier, Noah Gragson, that's a tire, fire suit for Almirola, BK, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Brittany Zamora, tire for Jimmy Johnson, fire suit for Larson, Suarez, and tire for Willie B. Had 5 Panini Points cards. No actual ink out of a blaster, which is very disappointing. Trackside Action Signatures Blue Parker Retzlaff, and the Alex Bowman Patch Auto, not numbered. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it is numbered. Out of 49. My apologies. I told you, I'm at the end of my capacities tonight. Gold Flash American Pride, 9 of 10, Michael McDowell. We had the straight up gold rookie Andres Perez, 2 of 10. The Sights of Victory with that Hooters rear end of Chase. That's an 8 out of 10. And then we had the Tiger print, Chandler Smith, to finish out the evening. So again, I appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate everybody understanding, with me being out of town and all that stuff, being flexible with our schedule a little bit. I know I like to try to stick to a routine. I'm a creature of habit, but every once in a while you got to just, change things up a little. So, like I said, check out the break schedule. It's got the next couple of things on there. And then this weekend on Sunday, we'll do a wrestling break, leaning towards Chronicles blaster case for wrestling, just because I think we'll get some decent stuff out of Chronicles, I believe. And then as we look even further out to next week, we got the NFL draft. So lots of stuff on the horizon, and hopefully big hits for everybody. That's what we want. So everybody have a great rest of your night. I'm going to go take a shower, and I'm going to bed. We will see you all next time.